This is BS. This is BS. Why are we here? I am going to call corporate.
Who the hell gave this guy a video camera? Welcome, I guess, into another edition of BSing with Big Nate. Good luck.
Indecision here, indecision there. Wake up! Try to take it away, dare to take it away, you can't take it. Try to take it away, dare to take it away, you'll never take. The sun on my face, the lessons I've learned. The ink on my skin tells a story. How great are we lost, well that's not perception. These are some things you can take away. Look at me, I don't hear you. Look at me, I can't hear you. Look at me, I don't see you. Look at me, I can't see you. What'd you say? I said fuck now. What'd you say? I said fuck now. What'd you say? I said fuck now. Fuck yeah. Agree that we've all lost. Agree that we've all lost. Agree that we've all lost. The sun on my face, the lessons I've learned. The ink on my skin tells a story. Agree that we've all lost. Well, that's not perception. These are some things you can take away. These are some things you can take away. These are some things you can take away.
That was Magg Dylan with Pawns on another edition of BSing with Big Nate. Of course, you may remember the last time I was talking to just Suzanne. We were talking about their cover of You Oughta Know. Now I am joined by Suzanne, Brucifer, and Adam. Hello, guys.
What's happening?
All right, so You Oughta Know, and I was telling Suzanne last time we talked, I really enjoyed the way you guys kind of worked that to your own sound. I think there's a lot of power to it. I think a lot of that comes from, really taking that classic track we all know. I'm going to be honest with you. That Jagged Little Pill album, still one of my fondest memories is listening to that one as a kid. I was in the back with my parents constantly playing that one. And now we come to Ponds, which is different, but it's very much more, not much more, it's very much exciting in the same way. I think this track has something that's going to be a lasting impact. So I wanted to, kind of dig into it.
That's
So,
cool. Appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
first and
Honored.
foremost, with the track, the orchestration and the way Suzanne's voice mixes in and the harmonies. How long from start to finish? What was this process like of getting Ponds written, recorded, produced, mastered?
Well, I mean, we were on the beach. I mean, we were writing it. One day we just kind of like put it together. It's, when we write music, we have like one song here, one song there. Sometimes songs will morph into other songs. And that's kind of what happened. Like I was playing one of the riffs from our other songs and she threw something in there. I was like, that's it. There it is right there. So then we went with it from there. And then the pandemic hit. And then the lyrics started to come. We were sitting on the beach and Magg's head going, man, sucks, but it really doesn't, because we're on vacation, kind of like, even though we were in a pandemic, we still, we went to the beach, we have our dogs, we have our life, and that's the thing is everybody seemed to be so upset, and there was all this stuff going around about, is it real? Is it not real? Is it crazy? Politics, and it's like, you gotta be optimistic too. You got, there's things that they can never take away from you, even if they wanted to, they can't.
And that's kind of, so that's kind of like where a lot of the lyrics came from. But yeah, I think start to finish, that one probably only took a couple months.
No, we did it long distance. We didn't even go in the studio. We recorded it in there, in the other room, and sent it off, and then swapped it back and forth. Like we boomeranged it to our guy, and he boomeranged it back. Then we boomeranged vocals, harmonies, then he boomeranged that back, and we just went back and forth till it was done.
How would you say that's a harder or easier way to put a track together?
It's harder because the thing is when you're in it's harder for her. For us, for guitar players, it's easy to track guitars because you can really go in there and you can't really mess up a DI. Well, you can, but then you shouldn't be recording if you do. You know what I'm saying? But you can't really mess up a DI guitar track or a bass track. It's just a plain sound. You send it to them. They can put any amp they want on it. These days, they can do anything. But vocals, there's a studio process. There's a room. There's an ambiance. There's a feeling. She's got to get into the song, to just sit there in our own house during whatever. It's just not as exciting as going into a studio situation. That's like fun.
Well, and I get distracted like super easy.
God.
So,
I got to go fix the refrigerator kind of thing.
yeah, like one of the dogs will bark, or the dogs, they always have to be with me. So especially I think I had anime on last time when we were on. Usually I think in lot of the recording I'm holding her, like I'm literally holding her and I'm screaming into the microphone, and she just wants to be there.
You can hear remnants of dogs, like in a lot of our recording, man. Like if we recorded it here, you can hear a or a jingling of the thing. I mean, you can hear a lot of things like in our recordings, and I try not to, but it's so hard to, because the dogs are running there and they want to be with her, and she's like Snow White of the dogs.
To me, as a fan of music, those things like that though are very much it's kind of like a watermark on the music, but it's something that you'll notice if it's missing. Like the one that always sticks out to me is that Ramones' first album is, you can hear he's got a squeaky bass drum pedal. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Nope.
But if it gets removed, it completely changes the feeling of the track. So I love little tidbits like that. Like huge fan of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, man. When it comes to recording, I mean, you can have a guitar. I think in Korn and Follow the Leader, there's a guitar feeding back on a lot of the songs just in the background, just to fill space. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if it's not there, you don't notice.
Yeah,
but you won't hear it.
It helps build that ambiance you were talking about. Yeah, I run into the same thing. I was working from home for that first little bit of the pandemic, and it was real hard to take my home space and put that in that work mind frame. I know I ended up working real crazy hours because what would happen is I'd get started on something And then I was like, you know what? It's time for a sandwich. While I'm here, I'm going to clean the fridge out. And it was real hard. So I'd end up like wrapping up my work for the day. It's like 10 o'clock at night. It's like, the hell did I really do today? So I definitely get that kind of ADHD. You kind of focus on things, and you have to have that creative space separate from the residential space. There's also a video, of course, to go with ponds. What was shooting that like?
Great. That was awesome. Cold.
Yeah, it was cold, but it was epic. Like, we love working with Scott and Desiree of Digital Thunderdome. They're amazing. They did our delusional video, and they are just masters of their craft. They're amazing. And they've so shooting it was so cool. And when he came up with the abandoned bus graveyard, the coolest thing to me about that video, and I haven't actually got to talk about this in an interview yet, one of my friends, her daughter watched the video and she goes, oh, so this is kind of like about how the school buses, like, they didn't run all year long. So it's like a school bus graveyard. And I mean, and she's like, I think she's 9 or 10 years old. I was amazed that she was able to pick that up.
Like 7.
Maybe she's 7. No, she's 7. Yeah, she's 7 years old. Her name is Michaela. It's our friend Christy's daughter. And I was just blown away.
That's pretty big insight.
Yeah, I mean,
I
for
like
someone so young to, like, she goes, oh, so that's what they're singing about, is they're singing about this, and like that's why they're in the school bus graveyard. So yeah, I thought that was super, super cool.
No, that is really cool. And I think there's a lot about this, both the track and the video, that kind of set and match the tone of what the last year's been like. Where does one find all of those school buses?
Oh, it was in Alto, Georgia. It's literally called the School Bus Graveyard. It's a place that you can go. So if you're ever in Georgia, right outside Atlanta, you can go to that school bus graveyard and walk around, and it is amazing.
It is really cool, man. Like, yeah, they let us do things, like they let us stand on top of, I got to stand on top of a school bus and play guitar. That's a bucket list.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
okay, is it one of those ones where it was already on your bucket list, or you realized like, nope, this is exactly what I wanted. I just couldn't pinpoint it.
Yeah.
And it's great because it rained for like a week, and I was up there, and I'm turning around and I look and I see the sunset in the background. I'm the only one that can see it. I'm like, Scott, get that thing, get it up in the air, So
The drone.
get the drone up there. Like, so he got the sunset right as it was going down. I was like, oh my God, we got it. It's crazy.
I mean, it's a very well done video. I'm a big fan of the song, but now I'm kind of in a point because, as you guys all know, probably as fans yourself, you're always kind of greedy and wanting more. What's next from Magg Dylan?
Well, we might be shooting another video for one of our older songs this weekend, actually.
Yeah.
And we're going in the studio tomorrow to record one of our new songs. So, like, we're going to an actual studio though, which is exciting for me, because it just helps me focus better.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and then you have a time limit in there. You really got to hunker down and do it. But yeah, I'm excited because I get to go into an actual studio. Because doing it myself, I'm the one who presses record and play and record. And if I stay in there, I'll change it and change it and change it and say that's not good enough and that's not good enough. And she'll look at me and go, "You need to get out of the headphones now."
I'll like take a break.
No, I mean, that's definitely one of those things, particularly if it's something that you're so closely attached to. It's hard to, I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but they referred to it as killing your darlings, is kind of having to sit there and analyze and pick. And it's like every time you can sit there and pinpoint something you don't like and you want to redo it and redo it and redo it. And at a certain point, like, how do you know when it's, you know what, this is done, we've got to roll with this?
That's never going to happen. I don't believe, not for me.
Well, wait,
For them
how
it
do
is.
you, like, with all the songs that we have done though, how did you finally decide this is it? This song is done.
The deadline hit. It's time. All right, shit, that's what we're going with. Do it.
I mean, you're definitely not the first person to answer that question that exact same way. And I don't think you'll be the last. I think there is a, do you find yourself like, once it's laid down, of course, it's going to evolve live regardless. Do you guys find that there's a track in your catalog that sounds like entirely different from what you initially started on?
Oh yeah.
Which one do you think the most?
Hurricane.
What do you think the most? You've been quiet back there.
He brought a whole new drum so live. Like if you come watch us live, you're gonna get something else. Like like because the drums on the recording are aggressive, but he's a very aggressive drummer. So when you come and watch us, there's a lot more energy, a lot more power behind it. So
It's fun.
it's a lot. It's great, actually.
Yeah, I've only been with him 6 months and I've broken 5 cymbals already.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
No. No. The first time he did it, I was like, oh no.
I was so excited. I got him here from California. I was like, hey, I got you a new China. And then like a week later, he's like, hey man,
No, not even a week. That was actually 24 hours. It
Yeah,
was
it was
a
gone.
day. We started rehearsal and I think maybe about third or fourth song in, and I go thunk and literally a
Like,
chunk about that big
yeah,
just
I was
comes
like,
right out of it.
oh.
He's like, so how do we fix it? I was like, get a bigger China.
and that's what we did. We got a bigger China, and it hasn't broken yet.
What gauge sticks are you using? Like how big are they?
Twigs.
I usually use 2Bs. So you're talking 21.5 inch in length, but I only use like the wood tips. But I've always, you know, their heads, their cymbals, they're made for beating. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and kind of like really bag on the drummers that don't hit that hard, but I mean, it's just skins and cymbals. So it's like, that's the way I look at it. I mean, when it comes to our softer parts, obviously, you know, I know where the dynamics need to be to be more aggressive, to hit hard, or like our song in Naked, you know, I do play a little bit more back and reflective, but when it hits that chorus, you know, where the big oomph is at, that's obviously where, you know, I'm going to go 110%.
That's one of those things, like the physics behind it all is always kind of blown my mind. Of course, I've got minimal experience around a drum kit. My boss is a drummer, so I've helped him, you know, load in, load out and stuff like that, but I've never really. But one that always stuck out to me is Godsmack. I saw them live, ended up catching a drumstick, and Shannon Larkin's drumsticks are like the size of a quarter in circumference.
Yeah.
It's like,
They're
how
big.
did he not break more cymbals? So I always wonder about the physics of, you know, breaking something like a China or a ride.
It all depends. Like the thing to do is actually hit the top of the cymbal and not actually straight on, because the straight on and the way that it hits is obviously, it's almost like taking a car and hitting a brick wall. It's like, obviously you're going to do damage to the front of the car, which is the cymbal, and then that brick wall is your stick. So if you actually hit the top of the cymbal, you're actually kind of, you know, wrapping the stick around the cymbal, so you're not really doing as much damage.
So what he's telling us is that he broke the cymbal
Yes,
by
basically.
hitting it wrong.
Damage per second. Like he's a DPS.
All right, guys, we are looking forward to more from Magg Dylan. Of course, if you're watching and you haven't checked out the video for Ponds yet, you definitely need to slide on over to. Is YouTube the best still for people? I don't. We very recently got into the YouTube game, and I'm enjoying it, but I never know.
YouTube are I have all the videos, all the music actually up on our website also. And then Reverb Nation is another huge spot. That
And I
we've
think
been
you could
shooting
even
for.
see him on Apple Music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the website? Magdillon.com.
Magdillon.com. Yep.
There you go. See, I think this is something that a theory I've developed recently is internet users' behavior. Of course, I remember early on kind of learning computer sciences, and I was started, I think it was on AOL or Netscape. Our behavior as internet browsers is completely shifted. So like everything I click comes from Facebook or Twitter or Instagram.
Yep.
Right.
I always have to ask for that URL because it's always like, yeah, I've been to that site before, but I don't remember what the hell the URL
How did I
was.
get there?
Right.
Like it's, you know, it's crazy. I bought a guitar and it disappeared. It was in my thing. Like it kept showing it to me. I was like, oh my God, I gotta have that guitar. Then I bought it and it disappeared. I was like, damn.
Oh, it's absurd, and I'm pretty sure they're listening to our conversations because I've gotten targeted
Yeah.
ads that make no sense. It's like that would have had to have been like a throwaway comment I made on air. There's no way you're recommending these like class
Oh
act
yeah.
dudes for transvaginal meshes. I've never had one or any experience with it. So like, what are we doing?
Yeah. That's, I
And-
mean,
It's just the cost of having all of our information out there. But that being said,
Yeah.
Magg Dylan, all of their information's out there, and I got some shows coming up, of course, in May. I have to remember what
Yes,
month we're in.
we're opening for Tantric. We're opening for Otherwise.
No.
Adelita's Way. Sorry, I do that all the time. I don't know why. For Adelita's Way on May 25th, and then we have the 2 shows with Tantric, and then I'm not sure what else.
We got the Band-Aid Music Festival.
Oh yeah, June 12th. That's in Virginia Beach.
And then June 19th, we're with Red Light Romeo in Hampton at the Vanguard. July 31st, we're still waiting on confirmation, but there's actually going to be a beach rocked party July 30th for all the ship rockers.
we have a couple of others. We just can't say them yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep an eye out because there will be live music in 2021. Damn it, we're not doing this again, guys. Thank you so very much. I always love talking to Suzanne, but I've enjoyed talking to you, Bruce and Adam, as well. And you guys have a great day. We'll be on the lookout for the next thing.
Thank you. Good
Absolutely.
to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.